I would like to surprise you with a musical impromptu special on my kazoo. Handel's Messiah is what I'm going to play. This is how it should be played. This is how it should sound. And my dad said all those years of kazoo lessons would never pay off. Well, look at me now. Pretty good. Okay. Did I mention it takes 43 minutes to play? Here we are. You know, this is silly. I see a couple of visitors here, and they're each in their way right now. I'm not serious, okay? I'm not really going to try to play Handel's masterpiece on a kazoo. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Because this instrument is incapable of expressing the depth and the beauty and the mystery of Handel's Messiah. And Jesus is making the same point when he's at the religious Pharisees' house for dinner. To them, he's basically saying, your religion of the Pharisees is like trying to play Handel on the kazoo. To them, religion was all about rules. And it was all about duty and appearances and praying long prayers in front of people to impress them. But their religion was incapable of expressing the depth, the mystery, and the beauty that God is. Love, grace, and compassion. Their religion was about judgment. It wasn't about building bridges, it was about building walls, handing out heavy burdens. This isn't God. This is not church. I wonder sometimes how often Jesus picks up his kazoo. He raises his kazoo. Every time he hears a preacher on TV say that following Jesus is all about prosperity and riches and being blessed more than others. That's what he does. Or when a Christian radio station says people who don't believe what I believe are going to hell like snowflakes in a snowstorm. Or those who raise millions and millions of dollars to build huge cathedrals while people outside their doors struggle to make their house payments. That's what Jesus says. Because true spirituality, true religion, is really for the young couple in the apartment building, a couple of annoying cats, and a washing machine that has stopped working. True religion, says God, is for those who are separated and abandoned and widowed, are still trying to heal from rejection or loss, or whose hearts are wounded and scarred. True religion is for those who don't have it all together, who live in the gray areas, who are trying to understand life, and they need to hear that Jesus didn't come to earth to save saints, but sinners. True religion is knowing who you are and whose you are. Spirituality is not just religion, but a relationship. It's not passing a test, but having a testimony. It's not about competency, it's about intimacy. It's not about perfection, but connection. Just seek God. What is so difficult about that? You don't have to climb the Basilica stairs on your knees, or fast for 40 days, or have a doctorate in theology. Just pay attention. Pay attention and be involved in a church with other seekers who are on a similar journey. And you will find him, for he is not far from each one of you. In our gospel story, Simon was a Pharisee. One of the separated ones. That's what Pharisee means. He and his compadres were curious about Jesus, or should I say suspicious about him. So they invited him over for a garden party. They reclined at the table. That's how they used to eat back then. They reclined on their left elbow. They ate with their right hand, which explains how the woman could stand at Jesus' feet. The text says She was a sinner. I remember when we were going to buy our first couch, a brand new couch. Our old, ugly couch was picky and worn and stained, and it was roughly the shade of Pepto-Bismol. We wanted a new style, a sky blue print that would match our walls. So we went into one of those furniture stores, Art Van or something like that. We talked to the salesman and we asked him, "Do you have any sky blue sofas?" And the wise salesman, he looked us up and down a minute and he said, "Do you have kids?" "Yes, we do." "Do you have any pets?" "Why, sure we do, yes." He said, "You don't want a sky blue sofa. You want a couch the color of dirt." Because it'll get stained, won't it? Yes. So we eventually bought a nice brown gray print couch. And sure enough, it got stained with coffee. That's right, I was the first one. But nobody found out about it for about 2 months because I flipped the cushion over, you see. We don't know what the woman in our gospel did or who she was. I mean, was she a prostitute? She could have been a loan shark, could have been a crack dealer. I mean, does it matter? The truth is, of course, that we are all stained. Some stains are small in our lives, small enough to flip over and hide, while other stains are large and bleed through the entire fabric of our lives. They are the stains we regret in the late hours as we lie in bed and stare at the ceiling, wishing we could go back to relive some moments, that one moment perhaps, and get things right this time. Perhaps that is what the woman saw in Jesus. She saw the moment. She must have heard Jesus speak from the edge of a crowd one day and had seen in him a way out, a way forward, a way to forgiveness. You know, God invented forgiveness. The woman in our story learned where Jesus was. He was at Simon's house. She sought him out. She was looking for him. She was in need, and her heart was good. And only Jesus sees the heart, and that's where it's all decided, you see. Simon's heart was judgmental. If Jesus were a true prophet, he thought, he'd know this woman is worthless. He'd know what kind of woman she is. To Simon, it was as clear as a bell, black and white, as to what Jesus should do. You remember those rubber bracelets, WWJD? What would Jesus do? Well, Simon the Pharisee wore a bracelet that was WSJD. What should Jesus do? I don't know if you've known anybody like that. That's right. I know what Jesus should do. He should favor me. He should protect me. He should side with me. He should vote like me. He should be a Baptist because I'm a Baptist, or a Methodist because I'm a Methodist, or a Lutheran, or a Christian. Everybody knows he was obviously Episcopalian. He should never associate with questionable characters, or listen to the Beatles, or dance the polka until he got all hot and sweaty, which is not easy wearing a toga, by the way. He should never swear, even if he hit his second golf ball into the pond. And he should snub other faiths, be pro-America, look like he's Swedish, and hate all the people I hate. Amen. That's what Jesus should do. Simon could easily have quoted the book of Leviticus that says, holy people should stay away from unholy people. That's what it says. Simon emphasized one religious truth, holiness, while Jesus emphasized a more important relational truth, that God is love and compassion, accepting the humble seeker. That is a religion capable of expressing the depth, the beauty, and the mystery that is God. In 4th grade, the teacher announced there would be a school play, Cinderella. Every girl yelled out in the class, I want to be Cinderella. And every boy raised their hand, volunteering to be the handsome prince. Of course, the teacher realized not everybody could play the main parts. So she picked other parts, the wicked stepmother, the sisters, the rich king, the pumpkin, and everybody was assigned a part, except for one student named Norman. Norman was quiet, not necessarily shy, just kind of quiet. He didn't always follow the crowd, but was happy just being Norman, being himself. And when the teacher finally got to Norman, she said, "Norman, I'm afraid all the main parts have been taken, but we can find an extra part for you in our play. What character would you like to be?" And Norman confidently said, "I would like to be the pig." The pig, the teacher said. "There is no pig in Cinderella." Norman answered, "There is now." He went home and designed his own costume, paper cup for the nose, red long underwear, a white pipe cleaner tail, curled. And in the play, Norman's pig followed Cinderella around wherever she went. He became a mirror to the action of the play on stage. When Cinderella was happy, he was happy. When Cinderella was sad, he was sad. And at the end of the play, the prince put the glass slipper on old Cindy's foot, and Norman the pig danced around with joy, and he broke the silence by barking. He barked. During the rehearsals, they told Norman, "Pigs don't bark." And Norman said, "This one does." And the teacher had to admit, he did it well. It was well done. Well done. So opening night came. It was a smash hit. At the curtain call, guess who received the standing ovation? Norman the barking pig. Now here is the moral to that story. Norman resisted the limits of the script. He refused to believe he had no place. Rather than the script limiting Norman, he found a way to enhance the script, to fill it with life and laughter and surprise. Norman was just like Jesus, taking the dusty religious script of the Pharisees and filling it with life and laughter and love and surprise. There is no Jesus in our Messiah script, the Pharisees yelled. Messiahs don't hang around with losers and sinners and riffraff. Messiahs don't break the rules. And Jesus answered, "Well, this one does." Amen.